All right, I want to thank you guys for coming. We're going to take a look at a new tool today that's new in the new year, Canvas Studio. New to us, but not new across Canvas. So just like anything we do, it's very Google friendly. For some reason you're having trouble with something, or I'm not necessarily in my office and you have a quick question, know that Google is your friend here. It's not something that doesn't have a plethora of resources out there already. But I want to get started with just going to Canvas. When you obviously open a browser, you come to My Weiner. You'll notice that when you're in My Weiner, you're not signed in yet, which is why you don't have Canvas in your classes right here on your dashboard. So you can either search for Canvas up here and sign in, or click sign in here so that you're actually signed in at My Weiner. And then once you do that, you'll see your Canvas stuff start to populate. Okay, so there's the Canvas stuff. So you can see it looks much different than a regular user. That's the way you would want it to be. You don't want someone coming off from not a Weiner stakeholder coming in, going on our computer, double clicking, and seeing everything in front of them. So they have that sign-in feature until you get a little bit more of what you like and the things that you have starred up there. Okay. So I'm just going to start. I'm going to click on one of these courses so it takes me there to start, but I'm really just going to go right back to the dashboard here in Canvas. So when you click on the 1821 up on the top, it takes you to your dashboard. These are the things that you have starred in my all courses list. So these are the things that show up right in front of you. The tool we're going to look at today is Studio, which is over here. It kind of looks like an octopus with a TV on its head. Okay, so we're going to take a look at Studio over there. Know that Studio exists in every course as well. Okay, so there's a couple different ways to get to it. When you click on the Studio here, you're going to the Studio for your whole account. So any Studio video that you've made, this is where you're going to find it. If you're making a video for a specific course, then going into that course and clicking on Studio will get you to that specific video. Okay, so you're really, again, same thing with the internet. You got different browsers. Here you just have different ways to get to it. Okay, you're either going in the front door or going in the back door. You're still going in the same house. Okay, we're still going into Studio. So let's take a look when we click. Go ahead, Karen.
So if you wanted to use a specific video in two different courses, if you put it in the larger one, could you move it?
Yes. Ideally, and the way that they describe this to us is best practice is to always start in the My Uploads, which is the overarching basket. And then you can always take those in particular videos and push them to your different courses. You can go into the single course and record the video, but when you do that, it's going to just be in that course. It won't be in the larger basket. So here you can see that in My Uploads, I have two videos that are here so far. One that's my own class and one that was done with Karen for orientation of population health. I'm going to move my zoom down here a little bit. And there's really not a whole lot here to get lost on, right? You have your videos that you've already made here on the front, and then you have a couple options in the top right. We have record, which would be you creating a new video. Add, meaning the video already exists, you're just taking it and putting it in My Studio. So maybe you have a copy of it from Zoom, or it's a YouTube video, or it's something we taped, and we're pulling it off a different media platform. So we can just add to this. And then, of course, as this becomes a lot bigger, you can start to search. But search doesn't mean much when we only have two on our dashboard to start. Go ahead.
So if I have a Zoom link where I recorded a video already, I could just add and then copy the link?
You would need to, the only way to copy the link is if it's a YouTube video.
Oh.
If it's a Zoom video, you would download the hard copy onto your computer and then upload it just like a file.
And then I can erase it off my computer.
And then you can erase it off your computer and you don't have to worry about the Zoom cloud anymore. Now you have a hard copy of it inside of Canvas Studio.
Perfect. And then when we copy our courses, or they stay in the main house. I want to copy it in the main.
They stay in the main house, and the ones that you put into those courses do stay there.
Okay.
So if you're copying a whole course and you have an introduction video in module 1, that introduction video is still going to be there. Okay, the only thing that doesn't follow, and we'll look at this a little bit further down the road, is the quiz. The only way for the quiz to follow it is if it's an ungraded quiz. So we'll look at those settings, kind of get started. So obviously, if you're doing an introduction video, your questions, your check for understanding questions throughout might be the same. But if you made a video on a specific concept and all the students got the questions right, you know you need to make the questions a little bit harder, a little bit more difficult. Or you need to maybe change some of the language or ask them in a different way. Then we need to go in and just make a separate quiz on top of the video. So what this allows you to do is it allows you to make multiple quizzes for the same video. So it's no longer you saying, oh, I want to ask these questions to this group and these questions to this group. All you have to do is retitle those quizzes differently, and those 2 quizzes overlay on top of the same video. So you don't have to double up your work there. The only thing you would double would be the fact that you want to make 2 different quizzes. If you want the same quiz, that's fine. You just use it for the same thing. But if you want a different quiz for a different course or a different place where you're putting the video, you just have to make the separate quiz. You don't have to make the separate video. Okay? Does that make sense so far? So you can tell which one of these I have a quiz on already?
Oh, okay. I see.
Which one?
Oh, the little
Yeah, the one with my little rocket ship, right? That's my little quiz. It's just a quick quiz, right? So think real fast, okay? No quiz here for your orientation. So they give you a little symbol up here on the top. So let's take a look at, before we go into the record and add and all stuff, let's take a look at one of these videos, okay? I'm aware that you might not have a video in front of you, but ideally today we make a short, quick one so you're able to work with that, but I want to show you the options that are inside of here before we get to that point. Okay, so just like anything, when I click on my 3 dots, you get the settings for this particular video. Okay, here I can see the quiz that I've already made. I just named it test quiz, and if I wanted to add a different quiz, I'm just hitting the button, add quiz. So here you get a nice granular list of what quizzes have been added to this video. Maybe I have a SP20 quiz and then a FA20 quiz, and you're going in semester succession. Or maybe it's a video from N331, and I want to use it to review my knowledge in 332. So in that case, I would come down here, I could share it with the next professor so they can put that same video in their class, and they just put their quiz on top of that video. Okay, so we can take this content and spread it out amongst everyone. And that's a great thing for, especially since we have such a change in instructors all the time. We have a lot of movement with people coming and going, or people on sabbatical, things like that. It's very nice to have something to work with. So here in this case, we can certainly share this media with anyone else who's inside of Canvas. Go ahead.
Are we sharing it to email? Or we share it to course?
You're sharing it to their studio. So they don't go into their email, they log into Canvas, they click on their studio.
So how do we know it's their studio?
So inside of here, I'm in my uploads. If somebody shares something with me similar to OneDrive, it's going to be in my shared with me section. So when I come in here and click on, click on the 3 dots and do share media.
Oh, the people will drop in.
Yes. Here, first of all, you can have a public link, right? And here are my people, I start typing out a name. Now, what we have found is that if you are sharing with someone, they should populate in this system, just like our emails do.
Okay, so it's the name, not an email.
Correct. The caveat is that they had to have clicked on Studio before.
Okay.
If they have not come over here and clicked on Studio, it will not show them in this list.
Okay.
So if another professor, Mary Francis, says, oh, can you share that video with me? Or you say, oh, I have this really great video, I'll share it with you. And you go to my shared and you start typing her name and it's not showing up, you can always enter her full email. I think that's going to get a little sloppy. go ask her to click on studio so that you can start typing in her name so she shows up here. So obviously Diane has clicked on studio because she's sitting here with us. So we know she's clicked on studio. But if we take someone like, oh, Mary Frances has clicked on studio. That's because I've worked with her. Let's see, who else how about Sue? Okay, so Susan Costello, right? Has no reason to click on studio because she's never in Canvas. But that would be a user that hasn't yet engaged this platform. So we're not going to see them on our shared
So would I be?
tab here.
I'll click on it several times.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Andrew, is the point of studio to share videos with each other, or to always have a quiz attached to it?
All of that is a point. All of these are features of studio.
And you want them to do a quiz in class or before they?
It's whatever you want to do, Diane. It's very open to interpretation. What really this is it's, in my opinion, it's Widener's way to get us off YouTube. Because right now we have so many YouTubes. Nursing has a YouTube, business has a YouTube, social work has a YouTube. Nobody has any control over any of that content. It's on YouTube. YouTube has license of that material, okay? So this is a way to get our academic property in our house, meaning in our studio.
But you're still taking videos from YouTube to show in class?
Absolutely. You can certainly still take videos from YouTube to show in class. Now, the great thing about that is that YouTube, and we're going to see this here in a second, YouTube talks right with Studio. So the same way you and I go and we get that share link,
Right.
I do the same thing here. When I do add up here in the top right, let's actually go there. Okay, I can do add here, and I just paste the YouTube URL. That takes that YouTube video and puts it in my studio. It allows me to overlay a quiz on top of that YouTube video. The only thing it does not allow me to do is it does not allow you to download it because it belongs to YouTube, right? It's not our property, so we can't download it, and you cannot transcribe it. So you're on the closed captioning of YouTube. So if the original owner put closed captioning on that video, it will exist, and you will see it here. But if there's no closed captioning in it, we can't have the studio service, which does closed caption over top of YouTube property. It will only close caption videos that we upload ourselves or videos that we make here in studio.
So when we go to studio, and let's say I'm doing the lecture, will it close caption over what I'm saying?
As long as you tell it to. It's just
So I
a
have to
little
tell
bit of a different setting. I'm going to
Okay.
show you where that is.
Question,
Yep.
Andrew.
Go ahead.
So you're saying you cannot, what purpose would you have to download it?
If you wanted a local copy, if for some reason, like you did a lecture and it's a 50-minute lecture, and I know I'm going on a plane ride, I don't have Canvas on the plane, so I want to download a local copy. You as the instructor, after every video, I'll either allow or disallow something to be downloaded.
Okay.
So the
you
student-
can't do that with YouTube.
You cannot do that with YouTube.
The other question I have is how long can a video be? Do you have a certain amount of space or?
You do not have a certain amount of space, but we have noticed that anything over a half hour takes much longer to upload and exponentially longer to transcribe.
So we should
So-
lecture videos should be for quick stuff.
It's more like quick stuff. And really our lecture videos should be broken down into parts anyway. We shouldn't be putting out videos where we're just talking for an hour.
Okay.
The students have zoned out after 20 minutes.
Okay.
So if you come to a different slide or a different concept or a different underlying theme inside that video, you stop it. You have a couple questions for them to answer, whether that's just on the Canvas page to think about or a different assignment, and then you go to the next video. Really not best practice to put out the long stuff. Obviously, we know that stuff's out there. And if there's a snow day or something like that, or you're coming up on finals and there's a bunch of stuff to do, it's gonna happen, right? That stuff is gonna happen. But ideally, if you're saying, you know what, I'm gonna try to do a little bit more of a flipped approach, or I'm gonna try to have the students do a little bit more before they come into class. These should be no longer than 10, 15 minutes of video content, so they can actually sit and absorb the content.
Okay.
If I'm watching a 50-minute video, I have no idea what happened in minute 10.
Mhm.
Heck, if I knew what happened in minute 48. right? Because at that time, my brain is just, I mean, that's what happens when we watch TV shows. The same thing's gonna happen when you're watching videos. So we want to kind of keep that in mind as best practice. Try to make them short, sweet, underlying themes, topics.
So when we do that, we really have to think about part one is going to be how long, part two is
Yes.
going to be how long.
Yeah.
Okay, and map all that out first before we get
Yeah.
started.
I think that's a good kind of, in front planning to sit down and say, okay, I need to do this lecture. This lecture is 60 slides.
Right,
I'm only going to do slide 1 through 20 in my first video.
okay,
I'm going to ask these 3 questions.
okay.
And I'm going to stop the video, put it up, put it in the module, call it part 1, so that someone can go and do part 1, answer the 3 questions, and come back 3 hours later and do part 2.
So
Okay?
the video shows up in your modules or does it show up in your studio?
It shows up in a whole bunch of places. I'm going to show you where it shows up. Okay? So I think this is pretty self-explanatory here. When we're doing when we're doing add, I don't know why I said no there. When we're doing add, we can either browse a file, right? This would be a file that you have on your computer, or you're just pasting a YouTube URL. Okay? Very easy. Okay, as opposed to add, I have record. Now, when you do record, you have 2 different options. You have just regular screen capture, which means it's just going to look at your screen, or you have webcam capture, which means it's going to look at your webcam and your screen. Okay, so they will see you talking and see the screen as well. Similar, yes, similar to what we're doing right now in Zoom,
Okay, so.
right? Mary Ann's here in Harrisburg looking at me through that camera, but I'm sharing my screen. So she can see what I'm pointing at. She can see my facial expressions. She can see my emphasis on words. She can see my hand gestures. All of that stuff is good practice for delivering instructional content. A lot of times we come to, oh, well, I don't want the students to see me. Well, they see you all the time. I could understand if you're homesick and, you might not look your best Sunday, but.
I didn't, and I never
Right.
on video.
Right, but for the most part, again, best practice is to show yourself, okay? Let them see you.
Use this instead of narrating PowerPoint.
Yes, absolutely. I would encourage you to use this instead of narrating a PowerPoint.
Sometimes narrating PowerPoint, you gotta go over and over and over again. 'Cause it doesn't-
Right. Yeah,
So I'm sitting at home
yes,
and I put it on webcam.
sure, let's
So
do
that
it.
It will see me, right?
Yeah.
But I will have to go to share screen. It will automatically share screen.
I'm gonna show you.
Okay,
Okay, so let's do on your page, do record,
okay.
and we're gonna do webcam capture. You have to do a couple things because this is the first time you're doing it on this computer.
Okay.
Once you do it on your device, it will be webcam capture, pops right up. But this first time it has to put the software in the background. We're gonna click allow. Well, you wanted to use your webcam and your microphone,
So I go to, okay, what do I go to first?
just hit allow, come up to record,
Record,
and then webcam capture.
and then allow.
Integrated webcam.
And do I have to click webcam again?
You're already on the webcam. Can you see yourself sitting there?
No.
Okay, so then click webcam.
Integrated webcam.
Yes,
Okay,
which is the camera at the top of your computer.
right. And there's nothing there.
Because, I wonder if it's because we're in this lab.
And it might not just be open. The shutter might be
I think
closed.
The shutter was closed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Here we go.
Oh, got it.
Here we go. Here we go, Diane.
Oh, that's so neat. I never knew they had this up here.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so then from here, I'm just gonna click start recording.
Okay.
And really, because we clicked just the webcam, the only thing they're seeing right now is me doing this.
Right.
Okay, they're not seeing anything on my screen.
Right.
So if you're just sitting and talking to someone, providing an explanation of a topic, that's perfectly fine.
Okay.
It's just like you're having a conversation with someone. I'm gonna click finish here. This takes a couple seconds.
Oh, we can start over too. I like
Yep, you can do start over if you didn't like it. It gives you the opportunity to rename here. I'm just gonna call it test and save that. Okay, so here I am uploading what I just did.
Okay.
from just
So
now.
you did, okay,
See, it goes through processing real quick, and there I am.
okay.
Okay, and it's that quick. Now notice how it's a little bit different if I do record and I do screen capture, which I think this will probably be where most of us get our bang for our buck. You're sharing a PowerPoint, you're going over an article, you're looking at a test blueprint, whatever that might be, probably 7 times out of 10, you want them to see what you're looking at.
Okay. So
Right?
instead of us.
Yes, so we're doing a screen cam capture.
Okay.
And for those of you that are familiar, dial back a little bit. All this does is it opens Screencast-O-Matic, which is what we used to use before we had Zoom. Okay, so we let it go through loading screen capture here. Again, because it's the first time I'm using it, it's saying, oh, you have to download it. That's fine. I'll save my file.
Okay.
Nothing's going to harm my computer. It's all coming through Canvas. Install. I'm just installing my screen recorder launcher. My screen recorder launcher is ready. Okay, great. So now when I do record and screen capture, it's asking me, what do you want to use? I want to use the screen recorder launcher. This is what they're calling it these days, version 2. I'm going to get something a little bit different here. Okay, I get my Screencast-O-Matic dashboard.
Okay.
So again, a couple different features here. You can see it, here's me talking, so I know right away my volume's good. You see my green bars going up and down. If for some reason you're showing a YouTube video, you would want to turn on your computer audio so that when the video is playing and you're there, the person on the other side is also hearing what the video is saying. So you might want to turn on the computer audio. And you have a couple options here. We said screen, but you can do screen and webcam here.
So then share the screen with you, so they can see me and they can see
Yep.
the slides.
Perfect. Or do both.
Okay, what's the difference between webcam and so webcam is not the screen.
No, webcam is the camera at the top.
Okay, and so I need to do both. I want them to see me.
And see the screen. Yes,
So I
correct.
have a PowerPoint up there.
Correct. So here's your webcam. You're going to drop your arrow down
Okay,
and choose the integrated webcam.
okay.
Okay, so now they're seeing you in the corner and whatever is inside of your dotted lines.
So let's say I want to talk about a module I uploaded. How do I get the module inside the document?
You're still controlling everything behind here. So you would just click on modules
Mhm.
and they're still seeing everything inside of this box. And you're navigating through it just the same way you would as if the box didn't exist. Okay, so they're seeing everything inside of it.
So I have to make it smaller.
We would make it bigger, right? Because you want them to see everything.
You can do that?
No, here, drag from this corner and capture your whole screen. Okay, let's everyone look at that. So again, here, you might need to do the left and right and the centers. See the centers, just a negative sign?
Okay, because mine.
If I drag up
Got it,
and down
got it.
and left and right,
Okay.
it's capturing everything that is inside of this dotted line.
Oh, you can move yourself too.
Yep, you can move yourself around, move whatever you need to around. Okay, and then that way, when I hit record down here on the bottom, it's recording me from the webcam and anything I do in my screen along this dotted line. So if for some reason you have something, let's say you're working on something personal. You have your credit card tab or something open up top. You wouldn't bring your square all the way up to where they see the tabs, right? Or let's say you have some windows down here at the bottom. You don't necessarily need to see them that you're working on. You just wouldn't bring your share all the way to the bottom of the screen. So you're able to control the width and height of the actual image that you're sharing.
Now, can you just get that thing out the middle, this arrow, directional arrow?
Yeah.
Once you hit record, that all goes. The only thing that stays is the border outline, so that if you're referring to a specific window, you know where you have to drag that window for the students to see it, right? Oh, I thought it was all on there. It was only halfway on there. So the border outline stays. And here, I'll hit record. Counts down for you so you can talk yourself through. So the only thing that stays here is this border outline. So right now I'm getting this, but notice that in my video, I will be cut off on Mary Ann's black box here, right? I'm only gonna see this portion of it. I won't see this edge. Same thing, my left-hand side, all my symbols are gonna be cut in half. So if you're talking about navigating through Canvas or something like that, you're gonna want that stuff to be able to be seen, so they can see where you're clicking to get to that material. So that's all kind of, again, forward thinking. What am I showing? How long is it gonna be? What can't they see? What should they see? All of these are kind of internal dialogue that goes on before the actual process.
So I'm on download screen and I click download
Okay,
and it asked me about screen recorder launcher and I said save file.
yes,
What I do?
yes,
And then it says that's all goes.
that's it.
Is that it?
Yep.
Okay, and so now where do I go to get mine?
Now you go back up to record and hit screen capture. And it will load this box that you and I are seeing. Takes a couple seconds. Okay. Even though we're in a completely different tool, I want you to see how awesome this is. Yeah. You're back to the download screen? All right, give me 1 second. I'll explain this and then we can try that. I was just talking, right? You can see that I talked for 50 seconds. All I did here was hit pause. This is still going. So if for some reason you need to walk away, or someone knocks on your door, or someone calls your phone, hit pause. Okay? Then all I'm doing is I'm hitting record again. And it's building right on top of my 50 seconds, 51, 52, 53. Oh, my phone's ringing. Pause it again. Okay, so I'm able to build on that same video content as opposed to, oh man, I only got 4 minutes through and then something happened. Pause that share so that you can go right back, hit record again, and then when you're actually done, you hit done. Okay, I'll hit done here. And we'll call this test with more explanation points. And I'm just gonna hit upload. Notice you can add a description here. You can edit it, meaning you can cut it, right? You see the drag bar, a whole lot more editing in here than we have on YouTube. So, oh man, that first 3 minutes, that didn't really make sense. Or I forgot to stop, I forgot to hit stop, and they got 3 minutes of me talking to Mary Marquis in my office. Now what am I gonna do? Cut off the last 3 minutes. Okay, so inside of this editing screen allows you to do a little bit of that.
Where's the pause button?
Uh,
Are you supposed to record something?
no, you don't have to record anything. I'm just showing you how it works, Diane.
I get lost because it doesn't look like.
Maybe it's because my video was too short. Maybe that could be.
There we go, that's what we're looking for. And what was your question? Okay.
No, she got,
I want you to tell me pause.
Oh, pause. Sure. All right, let me hit continue here.
Record, fast forward, then with the pencil and.
Record. I gotta give mine a couple seconds because it's uploading that video, I think.
So once you do all this, once you find a video and you record, tell them what to look for, whatever, prepare for the next class, where do you put this so they can find it?
I'm gonna show you. Okay, great
So
question.
now I have this.
Let me show you, let me show pause real quick. Screen capture, launching the tool. Okay, I'm gonna get my Screencast-O-Matic, all that good stuff. I'm choosing both. I'm gonna record. 3, 2, 1, it's starting. This is me recording. Oh my God, my phone is ringing. Pause.
Oh, you have to hit record first.
Yes, and then you hit record again, or pause again, record again, pause again. There's only that one button there. Okay, it's the only thing we can do there. Okay,
Nice on that screen,
Really, I think I need a makeup artist.
And I have a gray box that says webcam.
It's the red stuff.
So,
let me see what we got, Dr. Brown.
Clear.
Okay, so do you need this?
This?
Well, your webcam, hit the arrow.
yeah.
Yep,
Okay.
hit the
Right.
arrow and choose integrated webcam. So we can see you. Okay, so now we see you down here
Okay.
and the screen, this tool is gonna capture whatever's inside of this box
So how do I
once you
get-
hit record.
Okay, so how do I get where my stuff is? I have
Well,
to go
well-
search.
What would you be looking for? What do you mean your stuff?
Well, like say I'm, courses.
Go ahead. You're controlling the screen the same way you were. This tool is just overlaying on top.
Okay.
So you can, that's what I was just talking about Jawanza with. You can navigate to a certain module. You can navigate to a different video. You can go to an email. You can go to a PDF article. You can go to a website. You're doing everything else. It's just recording the screen.
And so it's recording, I haven't hit record yet. right?
Correct.
Okay, so when I go down here and hit record, then I can start to say, yes, this is.
Yep.
You notice, okay.
Yep. And you just make your way through.
Okay.
Yep,
I'm gonna hide this
absolutely.
up. I'm gonna need this at home, I can see me now.
All right.
Excellent stuff.
So here, right, I did 2 test videos already this morning. This first one was just with the webcam. And the second one here was with our screen share and our webcam. You can see Mary Ann's small black box there and our dashboard of the 3 videos. Okay? So I want to take this video that I made. First of all, I want to make sure people are watching it. And in order for them to watch it, I want them to be able to answer questions about it, okay? So I can create a quiz here, all right? Before we get to the create a quiz, I'm just going to go quickly to this introduction video and show you that when I click on it as the instructor, I see the video here, 8 minutes, 49 seconds. You have a couple other things that are happening down here. First of all, comments, right? If you want students to be able to ask questions or comment on the video, all of that allows right here, okay? I'm trying to remember if you can I think you can turn the comments off, which in most cases probably doesn't matter. If someone has a question, they're probably going to email you anyway. So you can turn the comments off. That makes, when we put it in a class, that makes the window up more on the video rather than giving you all this area underneath for comments, which you might not necessarily need. Okay, you can also subscribe to comments. So if you're having students actually comment on the box, this will send you a notification saying, Sally Ann has commented on video, da-da-da-da-da. Click here to view their comment. And then that way you get a heads up that people are commenting on your video. Here's the insights, right? So this shows you who's watched the video and how long they've watched it for. Now, because I am here in my studio dashboard, the only person on this dashboard is me, right? Notice, if I come here, I'm just going to come here in a different tab. I use this video in the front of my 302 class. So when I click on 302 here,
hello students, welcome to Nursing 302 Introduction.
okay, it's playing this same video on the front page of this course that exists here in this studio. Okay. I want to get to the insights there. I'm wondering if that's gone because I did.
Hello students, welcome to.
I think maybe I have to go here. Yeah, there we go.
So they can click, the student can click on studio and see.
and see it there as well. But here's the instructor, I get more details on the actual video.
Okay.
So this is the one that I put here on the front page. When I click my video here, look how my insights have changed.
Wow.
This is everybody that's in the class. And not only does it show everybody in the class, I can take them and click on them and get individual results. Okay, so these people all watched it all the way through, except for this one. Clicked on it, but didn't watch any of it.
Right.
Okay, so this is a point to kind of hold them accountable. Oh, well, I didn't hear that. Oh, well, I thought I saw that. Or, no, you didn't say that. You have the insight to be able to say, no, you watched this video all the way through. Twice.
Andrew, how did you get it to appear on your homepage, the video?
I'll show you in a second. Inside of these settings of the video details, comments, insight is the last one is captions. Okay, the only thing I need to do here is say, yes, caption it. I've already done that for this video. Okay, but if I'm back here in Studio and go to this video and do captions, you can see that that isn't filled out yet. You have to request for the captions to happen. Okay, so it's not something that's done automatically. So all you do is you go, which language is spoken? I speak not Dutch, I speak English, and hit request. Okay, and in my experience, very quick. The other way for this to do this is if I come off of Insights and go back to captions, Zoom provides a transcript to the videos that go on the cloud. You can also upload the captions. Okay, so those captions are already done. All it's going to do is going to take those timestamps on the Zoom video and the timestamps on the caption and marry them together. All right, so that you get those same captions scrolling at the bottom of your video as you would for the normal playing.
Now, I've done that with Zoom, and what I have found is that if you're not speaking clearly, it makes up words that it thinks it hears. Because I've done that, because I've gone for minutes to a
Hello,
meeting,
students. Welcome to nurse.
and it was, you know, I had to figure out what word I was saying.
Yeah,
But
for
I
sure.
got it, yeah.
I totally understand that. Okay, trying to wrap my head around, because when I did this training, it was a 2.5 hour training. So I'm trying to take all that and kind of give you the meat and guts here in an hour. Yeah, for sure. So we looked at Studio, right? Here, coming up, we'll go back to create a quiz. Let me answer Jawan's question of how do I get this video actually in my class? Okay, because there's a couple different ways you can do that. If I'm here on a front page, right? If I hit edit, you get this same HTML toolbar that exists on all the editing screens, in Canvas. Right? They all have this same bar. Right next, or two over from YouTube in the bottom row, is a V, a blue V. And the blue V is a link to all of the external tools that exist inside of Canvas. I'm sorry, I have to do Okay, click on that. You might actually find something you never heard of. And be like, oh, wow, I didn't even know we had that. We've got a lot of stuff in there. But what we're looking for here today is Canvas Studio. Okay, when I click on Canvas Studio there, it just gives me another window of the videos that exist. So the same way we work on our syllabus, we put our cursor where we want the syllabus to be on the page. We go to files, we click on the syllabus, it drops it right there on the page. The same thing happens with the video. I want the video to be here on the page. I put my cursor there. I go up to the top of the screen. I click the V. I find Canvas Studio in my list. I select the video I want, and it drops it right there on the screen for me. Okay, notice again, this is showing me that I have this video here with a quiz. When I hit select this, I get two options. I get the standard embed, meaning they can only see the video, or I can embed the one that I made the quiz on. So maybe I did make a quiz for something, but I'm just not ready for them to see the questions yet. Or, maybe I made this video and it's at a higher level than where they are right now. I just need them to watch it. So I can do standard embed, and there's my allow comments, toggle on, toggle off. I can download it, toggle on, toggle off. And of course, if I want to make it my video quiz that I've already made, I just called this my test quiz. If you have multiple, you'll find it listed there. FA19 quiz, SP20 quiz, beginning of the year quiz, midterm quiz, end quiz, whatever that might be. Maybe you're giving them a pre-quiz on certain content, and then later in the module, you're putting the same video and you have a post-quiz. So you're just putting the same video on, you're just selecting a different quiz to overlay on top of that video. Does that make sense? Okay. So this is right here on my homepage, how to get the video. But if I wanted to make it in a module, right, couple different ways I can do it. I can come to my plus, and from my drop-down list, choose external tool, find my Canvas Studio in the list, and click my video, okay? Now what we have found is that when you do that, you're kind of hand-tied, because then the only thing that's there is the video. If you wanted to give a sentence or two about what students are supposed to do before watching the video, or maybe you have some kind of post-reflection you want them to do, you want to put it underneath the video, you don't have the ability to do that if you choose external tool. Okay, the only thing it does is it puts the video. So what we have found is probably the best is if you do a page and call it a new page. I'll call this intro video and do add item. Here's my, I did this earlier, I was practicing. So this is the one I just did, intro video. Now when I come here, I have a whole blank slate to put whatever I need, right? So when I click edit, I can give a quick overview of maybe what they're watching or what was taught last time or what they need to bring to the forefront of their brain before they watch this video, what concepts are important. I type out my overview, I come down, now I'm ready to put my video. I can hit my V, my Canvas Studio, my video. It puts it right there on the page for us. So again, here's my overview, here's my video, and now I can come down to the bottom and still type at the end of that if I have something I need them to do after, or please answer these questions to yourself, or please continue on to assignment number 5, whatever that might be. So when you make it on a page, it gives you a little bit more structure rather than just slapping the video in a blank space. Does that make sense? So for, probably introduction videos, things like that, you don't necessarily need all that stuff. But if you're putting it in the middle of a module, and yes, there's probably some prior knowledge, like I said, that you want to bring to the forefront of their brain, discussing those things at the top of the page. Please remember and think of these concepts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, before watching the video. Oh yeah, oh, okay. Oh, I see how that ties in. And all of those kind of connections that you and I as professionals kind of happen because we're used to going through those paces, that doesn't happen with students. Okay, so that prior knowledge is so huge of bringing them back into the frame of mind of where they need to be to absorb this content. Anyone can watch it. I can show this to my 15-month-old, he can watch it, but is he absorbing the content? So making that the same way you would present a lecture in class, reviewing the prior class, reviewing prior knowledge, asking a couple check for understanding questions, talking about the video afterwards. We want to think of those same practices here in an online format. So setting the groundwork for them before the video occurs, putting the roof on the top of the building after they watch the video so they can build the entire structure and have a complete understanding of what's being taught to them. Does that make sense? Diane, does that answer your question as to where we put the videos?
I'm a little confused.
All right.
Well, I wouldn't mind doing something in Nursing 125, but Donna has it all set up for all the videos that she wants everyone to use.
Okay.
So mine would be an addition to that.
Yeah, if you had something supplemental that you wanted them to use, but what we could do is we could take Dr. Callahan's videos, which are probably on YouTube, right? And we could take those videos and put them in Studio, and then we could maybe put some of your questions on top of those videos, right? So we're still using the same video content. You're still using what's prescribed as the course coordinator. You're not getting away from that. Excuse me, all of that's still coming across, but you're putting your own extra touch on it, right? Maybe you're asking a couple questions.
Friday, I have a little video, 22-minute one on quality healthcare.
You can put it right up there in the studio alongside it.
I don't think they're reading the book, so
Okay.
instead of just showing it in class and getting them to tell me, see what they're reading prior to coming.
Yeah, that would be a good way to test it out. I like that idea. All right, that sounds good. I like that.
I have a question. Totally
Sure.
different. I see the little, where it says pages that are crossed out. The students can't see those. Is that correct?
No,
That's not correct.
that is correct.
Okay.
Students cannot see that.
Okay.
Sorry, I was answering your question, no, and then you said, is that correct? Yes. The answer to the question is no. Is that correct? Yes. All right. Yeah, not visible here.
Right. So.
And pages is really just the underlying scheme of everything.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, you don't want them to see that anyway. When I do view all pages, this is everything that exists in the background to make the class kind of run the way it's supposed to. Okay? I want you to know that not only is this something that you have, this is something the students have as well. So if you're asking them to create a video or to review content or something like that, and they're submitting it to you, they can use Canvas Studio to do that in two ways. They can come into their studio, make the video, click on the three dots, and do share, and type in your name, right? Easy enough there. We saw how that works. Or if it's in a specific course, and let's be honest, if we do this over a couple semesters, that shared with me is going to get really flooded if everyone just starts typing in your name. All of a sudden you have, figure one of our bigger classes, you have 98 videos and you did this 3 times. All of a sudden you have 300 videos in my shared with me. That's a whole lot of stuff in there for you to be able to find your own stuff then too. So it's a lot to shift through. So if I come in here and I do assignments, and I do plus assignment, instead of your submission type being online, you can do external tool and choose your studio. Now, the only way students can submit to you is through Studio, okay? And when they submit, they're submitting it here in the assignment. They're not going to My Studio and sharing it with you. So now those particular submissions exist only in this assignment, not in My Studio. Does that make sense?
So let me ask you this, Andrew. You know how when you copy in the course shells go over those assignments, just the assignments names?
Just the,
Assignment names.
yes, yeah, the submissions and things like that do not follow on a copy.
So you go under submissions, you do external tool,
Yes,
and then you go to external tool options.
Canvas Studio.
Oh, I was looking at inside the assignment itself.
Oh, okay.
So if you're creating the assignment, you're in assignment.
And really, there's a lot of places here because you could do online and put text entry and they get that same HTML box that we get, and they can do the drop down V and choose Canvas Studio.
Okay.
So there's a bunch of different ways, like we said, a bunch of ways to get to this. Because it sleeps inside of Canvas, it's literally in like 7 different ways in every class. So it all depends on how you want to use it.
So I, and like, when I did for, I have video introductions, right? And I don't know how I did mine, but it didn't come up the same way. So how do I get to Studio again?
You could do online.
Do I hit edit first?
Yes, you would have to edit.
Okay. And then I go down to.
Your submission
It's
type,
on online now, but I need to go down to external tool.
external tool, and then hit
Okay.
find.
Fine.
Oh, it's fine.
And
Yes,
then there's-
that gives you a list of all the tools that are already in our system.
Okay, so that's what I should really instruct the students to do, and then it will all go.
Well, no, this is you on their side. When they go into the assignment, the only thing they'll be able to do is use Studio. Yeah, they don't have to do find
Okay,
or anything like that, because we're setting it up that the only thing they can use is
Okay.
Canvas Studio.
okay,
They don't have an option to upload a different video or have an option to submit a paper to you. The only thing they can do is go into Canvas Studio and record a video.
okay,
That's the only submission that's allowed for this assignment. Does that make sense?
yeah.
All right, real quick, because we're running out of time here, I want you to see how to do a quiz on one of these videos,
Okay,
okay? So I am back. The only place to make a quiz is on your top of the bridge, open arching ladder, Studio place. You cannot be inside of Studio in a class, okay? That is only the quizzes or in the videos for that particular class. So when we are creating a quiz, we need to be on the actual Studio icon on the left-hand side. You see all of your videos. I just click on my 3 dots and I do create quiz. I title it. In this case, I'm going to say it's called test quiz. You can add a description here. And what this does is inside of the video, it puts a little blue dot on the timeline as to when the question's going to be asked. So if you ask a question at 2 minutes, the students are going to see a little blue dot at 2 minutes. If you ask another one at 2 minutes and 30 seconds, they're going to see another one at 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So it's just kind of an idea of where those questions are. If for some reason you don't want them to see that, you just toggle this. You're saying you're hiding that notification, that the quiz question will still show up. They just won't see the little blue dot, okay? I'm gonna click get started. Okay, and notice what you see here. This is my video. Here is your timeline down at the bottom for how long the video ran. And all I'm doing is I'm putting my cursor as to where I want it, and I'm hitting the plus. And at that point in the video, I want to either ask a multiple choice, true or false, or a multiple answer question. I'm going to ask a true or false. My shirt is blue. True is the answer. If they answer that, I can say, great job. If they don't answer it, I can put, check your eyes.
yeah,
General feedback, you're doing great. Okay, so we can provide all of this information inside of the quiz. We know that a lot of our questions, all of the answers are right. You just have to pick the best one. Okay, so identifying those terms inside of some of the answer choices is a great opportunity for feedback. You picked a good answer, but this term does not line up with this sequence, or this term does not identify with the first part of the nursing process. I don't know, whatever you guys do. But this is a great time to provide that individualized feedback, which when you say in class, people are like, oh yeah, duh. But like here, it's in front of them. They have to read it. They have to see it. And they have to click to move on to make the video go even further. All right, so we're giving them a lot of information here. I'm gonna hit save. Okay, and here's the instructor. I can see here's my one question now. It's down here with a pencil. Okay, I'm done with this. I'm only gonna ask one question in here. You can see this now has a little spaceship. okay? And I want to give this quiz to other people. So again, a couple different ways this can happen. You can go into the course, hit quizzes, and put this right inside of quizzes. Or I think probably the most common way we'll see this is inside of a module, the same way we saw how to put it in a module before on a page, and you choose that you want the quiz version. And really all that does is it takes the module and it talks to your grade book. And it says, oh, there's a quiz inside of here. It's going to make a test, quiz, whatever you titled it inside of your grade book. We'll see it as they watch the video. Does that make sense? I would love to show you all that, but we're out of time, okay? And really that's hard to do when it's you and I in a room, right? It's a lot more conducive if we can have students try it out, or you and I can sit at a desk and go back and forth. So please, if you're thinking of using this to an immense degree over, you know, the next couple months, let's sit and have an individual conversation about how that should look, what our best practices are, where we're going to put this, what is the best course of action. If this is just something you want to dabble in, by all means, dabble away. It's not something you can break. It's not something that we can't go back and fix, or videos that we can't delete, or quizzes we can't get rid of. All of that stuff can be undone. So go in, mess around with it, become comfortable with it. It's the same thing as when we got Zoom, and it's like, oh my God, how do I share the screen? How do I make, you know, it's a new thing. But we're here to support. So go in, dabble. Again, Google's your friend. If you get stuck somewhere, you can always look at that. And your wonderful instructional technologist is here on a daily basis too, so you can always reach out to him.
Yes, yes.
All right?
Great.
Questions, concerns, or comments? That was like a really fast hour.
It really was.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're recording it because, you know, I'm going to look at it again instead of trying to go through things.
All right. So we'll stop the recording.